This video covers the hotfixes released on PC over the course of January 2020 after DE returned to their office. The hotfixes included are 27.0.9 all the way to 27.0.12. To begin, we start with the general game changes across all these hotfixes. In 0.9, DE removed the pennant from Conclave. They also removed a redundant damage block stat from Saren's Toxic Lash and a crate from the extraction zone in the Grenier Shipyard tileset. They also updated the background for glyph dioramas in the market, added decorations around Samaris' targets so they were less likely to be mistaken for thralls. The Shadow now uses its clip mesh when disarmed, and they also added pickup text to the Shadow and Euphona Prime. The primed Smite infested mod and the Zylock are now tradable. They disabled the new boss health bar on the Razorback because it was causing some issues, and the original health bar has returned. Garuda can now cue her Dread Mirror projectile charge or throw more easily after using Seeking Talons. They also added the floating state of Wisp to her melee weapon, so when you melee, you'll still be floating. They also fixed her movement when equipped with the Shadow. In 0.10, the Shadow blueprint was added to Cephalon Samaris' lost and found offerings, but only after players complete the quest. They also increased the range that the Mine Ospreys drop mines from, and removed decimals in the arsenal stats if damage fall-off range is 1000 or greater to fix numbers overlapping and appearing messy. In 0.11, Grendel's Spectres can now use all of his abilities. Kuva Thralls now have a unique marker to differentiate themselves from the Lich. They removed the slight red tint that was always displayed on the Shadow's glow, no matter the energy choice. The Warframe and weapon tooltip in the inventory will now display an Exilus icon if said item or Warframe has one installed, and they made some micro optimizations to the minimap code. In 0.12, defense waves will now complete if NPCs are downed but not dead, except for the final wave. They've removed the hit scan traces from the Imperator Vandal, as it is now a projectile weapon. They optimized server-side code for game login, and enemy class hierarchy slightly. They also improve the robustness of a script interface to try to avoid scripts breaking if you switch to your operator at the wrong time. They made some systemic optimizations to the script runtime, some micro optimizations to the UI system. They improved the error handling in the cache optimizer, updated the boss kills section in the profile stats. Hydroid, Limbo, Mesa, and Mirage now have ability videos in their arsenal screens. They increased the scan projector effects when conserving on the Orb Valis to address colorblind difficulty, optimized host migration speeds for client to be significantly faster, optimized collision on the Orokin Derelict tentacles to better match current player movement skills. They optimized muzzle flash effects on the Zundai pistol skin. They cleaned up some Sonical light effects, tweaked Ivara Prime's prowl effect to be less prominent while moving to reduce eye strain based on feedback. They disabled the Y key triggering randomized appearance in the arsenal, and they optimized the Imperator's projectiles to improve performance in a section of the Kuva Fortress. As with the past two patch note videos, the following changes are Railjack specific in order of hotfix appearance. In 27.0.9, DE lowered the armor of fighters after they stated, enemy fighters in Railjack have too much armor. All fighter armor values have been halved with a slight boost in health for non-elites to compensate. This change was made after an upcoming explanation was given prior to the hotfix's release. The following are the value changes for armor. The Fluk went from 300 to 150, the Elite Fluk went from 350 to 175, Tactus went from 250 to 125, Elite Tactus 350 to 175, the Cutter went from 250 to 125, Elite Cutter went from 300 to 150, Outrider went from 800 to 300, and the Elite Outrider went from 800 to 400. The following are the value changes for health. So the Fluk went from 250 up to 375, the Tactus went from 200 to 300, and the Cutter went from 200 to 300. As for that explanation, Railjack weapons are no longer affected by Warframe abilities such as Rhino's Roar and Saren's Lash. DE did state that this was unintentional, with DE Marcus explaining. Few Warframe abilities unintentionally work on the Railjack itself. Bringing a meta Warframe to Railjack weapons is not a design outcome we intended. Our goal here is to balance so that players don't feel the need to use Rhino's Roar. Railjack weapons should feel powerful on their own. Moving on though, avionics now have a chance to drop from the following elite fighters in deep space, and avionics are now permanently marked when they drop. Munitions Vortex drops from Elite Exo Tactus and Elite Gaia Tactus. Countermeasures drop from Elite Exo Tactus, Elite Cosma Cutters, and Elite Gaia Cutters. Blackout Pulse drops from Elite Exo Tactus, Particle Ram, Fiery Phoenix, and Seeker Volley drops from Elite Exo Cutters, and Tether, Shatterburst, and Void Hole drop from Elite Exo Flux. In regard to Void Hull, DE noted that having added Void Hull to that unit, it should make it easier to acquire, but they will continue to watch all drops in the case they need further changes. In regards to weapons and procs, DE stated, "The idea of one damage type to rule them all is one we want to avoid in Railjack's early days. We are rebalancing aspects of certain damage types to ensure there's balanced choices. The armor changes in conjunction with this means this is a combined effort to finding the right place for all damage types, not just one leader." With that said, they decreased the effectiveness of the particle proc but increased its duration. By reducing it to 7.5% damage bonus per hit, it still stacks and lasts 20 seconds. They increased the effectiveness of the incendiary proc by doubling the damage per tick, but it has half the duration. The Pulsar series received an increased base damage by about 10% and an increased fall-off range. The Photor series received an increased fall-off range, the Cryophon series received a reduced damage and an increased fall-off range, and the Zetki House received reduced heat accretion for all Zetki weapon variants apart from the Cryophon. Now, DE removed the Rush Repair drone from the market with this hotfix, but it does continue to remain as an end-of-mission reward. DE, outside of the DevStream 135 comment by Steve, said, "We are doing this based on feedback that as a purchasing option it feels too unfair of an advantage. While it technically abides by our rule of pay for time, it bypasses a huge segment of the Railjack resource value. You can still pay to rush repairs once you've contributed resources, but you can no longer outright bypass the entire experience by purchasing the item from the market. We will continue to use rush repair drones as a reward, just not as a market item." DE has doubled the chance of obtaining wreckage from the end of mission rewards, but they reduced the chance of obtaining relics to compensate for the change. Permanent markers have been added to the avionics and salvage when they drop, with DE adding. This will allow you to always know what remains on the field of battle, and how to navigate accordingly. Adding awareness to the important loot has been a huge request, and this visibility increase should make sure no loot is left behind. Aside, we are reviewing vacuum range. Asterite resource pickups now reward twice as much. The squad overlay is now visible when in various Railjack modes, whether it be pilot, gunner, or whatever. They added squad status icons for Railjack missions in the squad overlay that indicate what the player is doing. Intrinsic points can no longer be earned after you have maxed out every intrinsic, and DE has cleared the points of players who had stockpiled theirs after maxing them out. The Railjack minimap is now fully visible. They have better canted the Railjack Pilot HUD Diamond, added force feedback to all weapons and missile launchers, they increased the brightness and thickness of enemy markers in Railjack, updated the Railjack name placement of all skins for better visibility, they set the maximum length of Railjack names to 50, and the off-screen enemy markers in Arcwing now show awareness states. In 27.0.10, players will now have 3 seconds of invulnerability when exiting the Railjack or a point of interest. They increase the refund from scrapping repaired wreckage to 80% from 50%. Wreckage capacity now appears in the equip screen for components and armaments, allowing you to see how many you currently own while scrapping. Distance values on Railjack enemies will now be displayed once their name is visible, and they upgraded the art quality for certain Grineer installations in Railjack missions. In 27.0.11, they brought buffs to all reactor types found in the wild. DE stated that any existing gear you have will simply be adjusted for avionic capacity, which will automatically be a buff in all cases. However, they did note that the Vidar 3's range has been compressed significantly from a 30% to 100 range to the new 90 to 100 range, and that they kept your stats the same if your rolls were within the 90 to 100 range prior to the change. So, for the Levan reactors, Mark 1's avionic capacity went from 10 to 20 to 20 to 30. Mark 2's went from 10 to 40 to 50 to 60. And Mark 3 Levan reactors now have a range of 80 to 90, up from 20 to 70, which was previously 20 to 70. For Vidar reactors, Mark 1's went from 10 to 25 to 30 to 40. Mark 2's went from 20 to 50 to 60 to 70. And Mark 3's went from 30 to 100 to 90 to 100. And then the Zekti reactors, Mark 1's went from 5 to 10 to 10 to 20. Mark 2's went from 5 to 30 to 40 to 50. And lastly, Mark 3 Zetki reactors went from 10 to 50 to 70 to 80. With these changes, it's important to note how we got from point A to B. When initially setting up the avionic values of these rewards, we did not foresee the depth of the frustration the Rangers caused, but in hindsight we should have. Thanks to your feedback, we are able to confidently make broad and major buffs across the board. This hotfix also did remove the tenuous ephemera from the reinforced sentient containers aboard the sentient Anomaly in the Vale Proxima region, and according to DE, this was done because the drop method caused numerous issues in terms of connectivity, stability, and player frustration. A quick jump forward, in 27.0.12, the ephemera did return to the game via the new exotic vendor of Little Duck, who sells the ephemera for 15 Anomaly Shards, as well as all sentient Capturicines for 10 Anomaly Shards each in Fortuna. This hotfix also removed the sentient Capturicines from the drop tables, and it's now exclusively from Little Duck's exotic shop. As for how to acquire Anomaly Shards, a single shard can be earned with each completion of the Anomaly in the Vale Proxima region. We go back to 27.0.11 for the following. Affinity gained from all Omni-Tool repairs and forge actions aboard the Railjack now get shared with the squad even if they are outside the ship. Wreckage no longer auto-scraps when you are over the wreckage capacity and instead shows a prompt upon returning to the dry dock that informs you that you are over capacity and that you have to clean up your wreckage so that it's under the limit before you can start another Railjack mission. Wreckage can now be cancelled at the funding point or while in construction, with invested resources and the wreckage returned to the player for another decision, whether you scrap it after that or whatever. The base avionics are now at rank 1. To accommodate for that change, DE has increased the base stat and drain for the Vidar Predator and lowered the drain for both Vidar Winged Steel and Vidar Winged Force. Numerous UI changes were made in the name of organization and clarity on the Railjack research and configure screens as well. With that said, they added mark category tabs to the Railjack research screen to better sort and display your growing inventory of research, added categories, a search bar, and sort options to the Railjack components and armament screens, added a show equip and show ranked option in the avionic scrap screen. The battle and tactical avionic grids now have grid category icons, and in addition, when picking a battle grid, they now reinforce which grid you are selecting and viewing for avionics by showing the category name and icon. As for the other changes, hull breaches that are active when the mission succeeds will be fixed automatically. They increase the range of Winged Cyclone, Winged Force, Winged Steel, and Winged Storm to 1000 meters. They increase the mount animation speed for the Arcwing Slingshot and Wing Turrets, and they tone down the effects for both the Particle Ram and the Fiery Phoenix Battle Avionic when aboard the Railjack. The screens and orange circle above the forge will be on when the forge is ready for use, and off if the forge is busy. DE also reduced the brightness of the cruise ship healing bubble burst effect, changed the Railjack entrance UI marker to use the same blue as the Railjack marker in mission, refining in the forge bay where the controller now requires you to hold X for 1 second instead of simply clicking X, and the open squads line now appears at the bottom of the star chart. Now we move on to 27.0.12. As for this hotfix, loot gathered when on foot in a point of interest, cruise ship, and from killing a boarding party are now shared between the whole squad, so you don't individually need to go to collect loot if you're busy. But this change excludes health, ammo, and energy pickups, and AFK players do not get the items shared and cannot pick them up later, so there's that. Coming back to it, minor breaches, fires, and electrical traps now restore health once again when a catastrophic failure breach is active. They added tips to the configure Railjack screen in the dojo. Avionics and wreckage dropped in Railjack missions will now display a distance marker, and the distance marker will appear when the avionic or wreckage is near the center of the screen, regardless of how far it is. They also updated the components and armament slots description to clarify that they do not apply to wreckage, only wreckage repaired. We are now at the point in the video where I cover the Railjack fixes and optimizations across these 4 hotfixes that are separate from the overall game fixes, so that will follow. In 27.0.9, DE fixed some color and alpha settings on off-screen markers in Arcwing for better visibility. They optimized camera placements overall when customizing Railjack and viewing aspects. The toggle interior button now has a checkbox to indicate active state. Railjack health and shields now show when they are invulnerable. They remove the HUD markers from missiles launched by the Seeker Volley Battle Avionic, which also fixes enemy HUD markers disappearing. The player's view of a cloaked Railjack, aka when using Void Cloak, is now a more obvious effect. The Railjack name shows in the Edit Name input box. The Railjack name shows in the HUD instead of the generic Railjack. Cargo consoles now show a small effect when they are busy and unavailable to use. The controller start button now closes the tactical menu instead of opening the top menu. They slightly zoomed out the tactical map when on the Railjack to increase visibility of the minimap features. Sorting by drain will now sort the higher drain to the top. They added a wreckage count to the equip screen, and then they fixed engine's color customization not working properly, an issue with the Railjack stats appearing as the default one when pressing escape on any part of the component menu, missing sounds on a certain Arcwing fly in cinematic, a script error in the tactical map, erroneous stealth components from Railjack gun HUDs, arrows for Railjack markers pointing the wrong way when you have a scaled HUD, Necrosis Shadows of the Dead spawning enemy ships inside Railjacks, an issue where using the Arcwing slingshot with melee equipped causes issues. They fixed an issue where you could use menus while in the Arcwing slingshot. They fixed the hijacked Grenier cruise ship spawning inside geometry, multiple HC tags appearing, an issue where players entering the Grenier ram sleds could travel to unknown places, Ivara's zipline persisting when in Railjack emplacements, Railjack audio looping when in the landing craft, the Reliquary void branches not persisting, ballistic and particle damage icons being swapped in-game, the Railjack slingshot effect color not updating properly, Railjack weaponry appearing at odd angles for clients when dismounting. They fixed clients being permanently dead in Railjacks if they return to a dojo in the revive screen. They fixed tactical views of players on the Railjack weaponry not working correctly. They fixed overlapping music on mission complete, being able to acquire Revelite by methods other than crafting or preparing payloads. They fixed Arcwing deaths causing players to respawn at the beginning of the mission, the Omni Tool equip animation causing loss of functionality when mounting emplacements and piloting, the Omni Tool having an ammo type which didn't actually interact with anything, multiple crashes that could occur when loading into a mission as a client in a landing craft, the Omni Tool showing as level 0, being able to exit an emplacement without animations instantly by spamming escape multiple times, the Railjack mission complete pop-up rendering behind the Railjack HUD, Grenier cruise ship consoles disabling the shield when exiting the hack without completing, the cruise ship healing bubble not being seen or affected by clients, the Sigma series displaying incorrect stats, some weapons showing incorrect icons, the rank 10 Railjack engineering intrinsic not working for clients, the repair drones not disappearing if someone else repairs the malfunction before the drones finish. They fixed drifting sounds stopping properly when the pilot leaves the pilot seat during drifting, a bug where intrinsics could be kept on a mission abort which was never intended, and an Arcwing bug that could cause clients to be stuck with normal weapons if they slingshotted into a non-cruise ship enemy. In 27.0.10, DE made some micro-optimizations to the Railjack HUD, fixed the inability to destroy enemy cruise ships that had been hijacked, the wide door in the pulse turbine not opening for clients, being placed outside the Railjack level when loading into a Railjack mission from your orbiter as the operator, controller settings such as mouse sensitivity being set to non-Railjack settings when a cruise ship is destroyed. They fixed cases of armament wreckage unique stats not showing, and this was due to the physical armament not being equipped on the side of the Railjack, which then considered it not equipped. They fixed Karkanox armaments, displaying incorrect fall-off ranges in the dry dock stats, the munition ammo count UI in the Railjack displaying one more capacity than you actually had. They fixed the Railjack Forge not applying yield multipliers with the engineer intrinsic bonus to displayed craft and mounts. They made fixes towards ram sleds occurring during a transition to the dojo after completing a Railjack mission. They fixed hazard markers for fire, electricity, and fast travel inside the Railjack appearing in the wrong locations when viewed in the tactical menu while on the pilot seat or side turrets. They fixed missing Railjack enemy UI after exiting, returning, and then exiting the Railjack, an incorrect minimap overlay when failing a Railjack mission and returning to the dojo, Railjack enemies displaying a rank of 0-0. They fixed a crash while transitioning levels in Railjack, a script error that can occur when exiting the Arcwing slingshot after opening the pause menu, which caused a persistent black screen, some mods displaying under the items section on the end of mission screen. They fixed the Reliquary drive appearing to have the vacant text even after completing the key quest, and they fixed an unlocalized Railjack recall text. In 27.0.11, DE fixed not gaining intrinsics after mission completion, a case of loading a Railjack mission forever due to some players having different progression into the Rising Tides quest. They fixed clients being stuck in a permanent streaming tunnel if they were in the dojo and the host was in the Lisette, cases of exiting the Arcwing slingshot resulting in a black screen, a crash that could occur in the Railjack if you were inside an enemy cruise ship when it's destroyed. They fixed flux energy that was in the capacity provided by the hyperflux avionic being lost between Railjack sessions. They fixed the stat value of flux capacity on reactors showing higher than the actual stats. They fixed Rhino's raw ability buffing battle avionics on the Railjack, the Shatterburst battle avionic not displaying the damage numbers when it affects enemies, being in operator mode in the dry dock, and then starting a Railjack mission resulting in your operator being in its non-combat dojo state. They fixed pressing the reset defaults button in the Railjack customization screen, punting you back to the Railjack component screen. They fixed the scrap button for repaired wreckage having the same text as the unrepaired wreckage, the last stand avionic description showing incorrect upgrade numbers, the wing turrets on the Railjack sometimes disappear. They fixed swapping around the battle avionics in the dry dock, sometimes resulting in misordered battle avionics in your Railjack mission. They fixed the placeholder text in the tactical menu when viewed while in a missile platform, overzealous particle sizes on the Neberis, Kapossant Prime, and Spore ephemeras when in Arcwing. They fixed an inability to interact with chat when viewing the Railjack research screen with a controller, Kuvalich transmissions playing while in the Railjack star chart, a script error when using the Arcwing slingshot, a script error when using the forward artillery, a script error when transitioning to and from the dry dock, and a script error when boarding a cruise ship. They also fixed network race conditions that could cause a crash when playing Railjack, and super bright lighting during the exit cinematic of some points of interest. Lastly, in 27.0.12, DE made a micro-optimization to the Railjack UI to a common function used by Railjack gamecode, numerous Railjack missions, and Railjack lighting. They also made some micro-optimizations to HUD marker performance, especially on the Railjack. They fixed a crash when the host aborted from a completed Railjack mission, a rare crash if you were connected to a squad while another player was dealing damage with a Railjack weapon, a crash when fighting sentients in the sentient anomaly point of interest. More fixes were made towards broken dry docks when some players have different progression into the Rising Tide quest. They fixed cases of turrets being inoperable if a host migrates while they were operating it, client bodies disappearing, Railjacks turning into just black walls, and more bad states if they were operating a turret when the host migrates, clients dying and being revived when operating a turret resulting in the Railjack disappearing. They fixed clients crashing if the host migrated during a critical breach. They made fixes towards Railjack's fast travel not working properly while operating a turret. They fixed wing turrets moving their positions each time a client mounts them. They fixed exiting the Railjack with Hildren's Balefire active, defaulting you to unarmed mode with no arc gun. They fixed weird camera rotations after launching out of the Arcwing slingshot, the quick progress screen not being usable after the first node transition in Railjack. They fixed the Levan elemental reduction avionic, gaining nothing from being upgraded to rank 1 unless on an upgraded grid. They fixed sentient cores displaying the wrong marker after being picked up, a couple of issues of hangar doors on the missile platform not opening for clients, a script error when an enemy cruise ship deploys their healing bubble, and a script error in the Railjack UI. We are now at the point where we go over the overall fixes. So starting with 27.0.9, DE fixed the Jotunheim Oculus being too faded during gameplay, the Cyrus chest piece interacting poorly with Wisp, the Cyrus leg armor being incorrectly placed on several Warframes, an issue where Chroma's elemental ward in the fire mode would subtract health if operators strayed too far from the Warframes. They fixed the Queller being unable to use ammo mutation mods, an issue with the Queller energy color, an issue where the Shadow would get stuck after regenerating ammo, elemental effects not working properly on Excalibur Deluxe's Nikana and Wukong Deluxe's Whip, a script error in Anaros' Sandstorm, overlapping environmental issues in the Grenier Galleons, an issue with the Behemoth Juggernaut Boil not being opaque, a false John Prodman icon showing up in Barrow's Wares, an issue with camera zoom being too close to Grendel after using Transference and Pulverize. DE fixed the Daiku's effects, Chroma's electrical ward not responding to the power duration mods, Nezha's Blazing Chakram not working correctly for clients when charged, a script error in Wukong's Celestial Twin ability, and a script error in Chroma's Effigy ability. The Amugi Prime shoulder pieces always glowing showing blue when Mirage is using Eclipse, Nezha's effects not properly working on ragdolled enemies, the Shadow using the wrong weapon mesh when disarmed, the Shadow being unable to use projectile-based mods, Ivara Prime's Artemis Bow Prime darkening when viewed in the arsenal, the permanently black Prisma Koi Sentinel tail, permanent water effects on players using Itzel's arc line to escape water, incorrect textures on Ivara Prime using the Astera Tenogen, Nox enemies being turned into thralls by liches, demolishers being turned into thralls by liches, effect issues with Samaris' ship and dojo decorations not properly adjusting when moving around, they fixed Frost Snow Globe missing the invulnerability period on cast, an issue with some Tenokon glyphs appearing the same, missing Venka melee sounds, Kuva liches stealing Conclave rewards, the Kuva Tolon chest armor having an incorrect icon, they fixed a distressed pipe appearing as white instead of red in Jupiter, the Heartwood armor set clipping with Rhino, light maps on pressure plates in the old Corpus ship Sabotage Core, a crate that was spawning within walls on the Grineer shipyard, a minimap that was missing from a section of the Grineer shipyard, they fixed Terra Maker's weapon sounds playing not positionally, the magnetic proc sound playing repeatedly on Shock Xmas auras, a crash caused by an assertion failure, Mercy icon appearing on floor for larvelings, whoosh and meteor whip skins not sitting properly in the hands when used with some whips. They fixed offsets for Equinox's Nightform leg armor, so it sits better on the leg, several script crashes caused by Warframe and Arcwing abilities, an issue with ciphers that was causing fails not to count properly in the fails stat. They fixed distortion overrides not working on objects whose base material themselves didn't have a distortion shader. They fixed the Quello's clip rendering behind the gun if reloading while aiming, clients sometimes not getting the relic reward selection screen. They fixed a frame display showing when backing out of the controller customization screen while in mission. They fixed single emissive colors not showing properly on Equinox and Korra, miniature boiler pods that could get stuck lingering in mid-air, violent flickering in the helmet room, the too thick dust in the middle of the orbiter. They fixed the imperated GPU particles moving towards the camera, various issues with the Kuva Ayenga including not firing sometimes in space, some attachments not showing the combo multiplier effects, and they fixed Saren Prime appearing covered in a flickering triangle effect when casting Molt or Toxic Lash. 27.0.10 DE fixed Jackal and the Razorback not correctly turning to face players sometimes when you get behind them, the Karudo having inherited the Harudo's health on critical hits mechanic, rip to that, the Redeemer weapon series appearing to deal 10 times the damage than it actually was, which affected the arsenal stats only, as in mission it did the correct damage. They made more fixes towards Wisp's movement animation issues when equipped with the Atmos and Nunchaku. They fixed incorrect energy color for the Vengeful Shockwave Ephemera, Ivara Prime's Quiver ability not using her Artemis Bow Prime mesh, the Paris Prime arrow using incorrect textures, an incorrect energy color on the Hema's muzzle flash light, overly metallic reflections on the Kapesh longsword skin, incorrect lighting textures on Volts. They fixed missing channeling particle effects on the Tajas Prime armor, seeing a distorted flat circle on the Staticore explosion and radiation areas, incorrect Kubrau eye glow colors when using the Metasphere pattern, the Eidolon lures disappearing at certain camera angles, Moa and Kavat companion emblems being equipped on the wrong side, broken warp sounds in the Sentient tile set, and they fixed a script error related to Tusk Mortar Bombard's crouching. In 27.0.11, DE fixed quickly cancelling out of a Grineer console hack resulting in a progression stopper. They made fixes towards missing subtitles and dialogue during the Apostasy Prologue quest, the Pennant not using all attacks and features of the Wise Razor stance. They made fixes towards Drakh Masters making the stolen weapons for clients disappear whenever the Master's Helikar is returned through non-standard means. They fixed the Kuva Ayenga no longer having its area of effect properties, the Kuva Thrall Mercies not counting towards the Executioner Nightwave challenge, numerous weapon hand positions, walking animations, and T-posing in regards to Wisp, the missing hide-owned option and inability to purchase multiple of the same item after going to purchase debt bonds then going to another vendor in Fortuna. They fixed the UI breaking when selecting the Select All button in vendor screens, fixed incorrect electricity effects on the Volt Proto skin and footsteps, and they fixed incorrect electricity effects above Volt's electric shield when shock is cast through it. They also fixed the Tonfa Hades skin flame effects always appearing orange despite changing the energy color. They made fixes towards the camera not showing you when you go back and forth from submersible areas in the Uranus tile set, Uranus, who gives a shit tile set. They fixed a script error when using the the Void Hole Battle Avionic, a script error when viewing a Warframe blueprint in the market, resulting in an inability to purchase Warframes, a script error when clicking the Wreckage Scrap button, a few rare bugs in the Sacrifice quest that could cause the chase sequence to get stuck, and they fixed the avionic screen breaking when selecting Scrap. And now we go to 27.0.12, but before heading to the overall fixes, DE upgraded their compiler toolchain with improved code generation for certain types of compiler optimizations, and they made a fix with a performance regression in some rare cases for Ryzen processors. Controller fixes were also made where they fixed the inability to use any piloting maneuvers due to the left stick being bound to zoom, effectively ignoring callouts in the intrinsic detail screen. They fixed the upgrade screen for avionics in the dry dock, missing button callouts for upgrading when using a controller. They fixed the left thumbstick, I believe, button worked to activate the search box even when the picker wasn't visible in the avionics screen. They fixed the left and right bumpers not functioning in the avionic upgrade screen, the sort menu not working in any of the avionic screens, becoming stuck in the avionic screen and having to restart the game, and they fixed an inability to exit the avionic grid upgrade screen if you place your virtual cursor over a grid. And now we finish off the video with the overall game fixes from 27.0.12. They follow. DE fixed several crashes and hangs on Windows 10 when an audio device is unplugged or chained. A rare crash when using profile log out from the menu. They made fixes towards pathing issues with a drone in the plains of Eidolon, which also fixes a very specific spot where the drone would regularly get stuck. They fixed the Vengeful Charge ephemera, providing constant light sources for Mirage's Eclipse, resulting in a cosmetic granting the light buff to remain 99% of the time. They fixed mission time carrying over from time spent in the dojos or relays, and mission time including the time spent in your orbiter after aborting a mission prior. They fixed your Kuva Lich having the default Excalibur helmet on their shoulder if you killed the Kuva Loveling as a client. Fixed tactical reload, lock and load, eject magazine mods not functioning for clients. The toggle sprint carrying over into Wukong's Cloudwalker, so he now no longer goes super fast in it by sprinting. They fixed Ivara's Navigator cast animation not being replicated between host and client, resulting in no sound or movement. They fixed the Quellor's alt fire being silent when it's meant to be alarming, as indicated in the arsenal. They fixed enemies being immune to Vauban's Bastille if they were ragdolled out of it previously. Excalibur's chromatic blade elemental effects and statistics on Exalted Blade not updating after you change the energy color. They fixed Inaris getting stuck in his Devour animation if Devour is cast on an enemy that dies at the exact same time. They made fixes towards the Octavia's Anthem music note effects trail disappearing when you locate and collect the first or second Manticore part. They fixed coil drives in the Orb Valis never despawning if the player doesn't move and the coil drive has passengers inside. They fixed dispatched drop pod NPCs being confused at their own existence by standing stationary and staring into the sky contemplating life. They fixed Volt visually missing his arm rings in his Codex Market diorama. They made fixes towards Ivara Prime's helmet cloth clipping through her forehead, cases of Warframe stats appearing unranked when viewed in the arsenal. They had a potential fix towards resource crate names lingering after being destroyed. Fixes were made towards odd pathing behaviors with the Jordas Golem. They fixed the primary and secondary weapons upgrade and actions screen, including the Umbra Former in the UI count of how many Former you have. They fixed a UI error when selecting certain enemies in the simulacrum that you don't have fully scanned, some distortion effects on the ice planet's heat generators, and they also improved their performance by removing a bunch of scripts to animate them. They also fixed distortions being offset with dynamic resolution enabled, the Sigma series Sugasho not being positioned correctly on glaives. They fixed some items in the market having overlapping text, such as the Kavat Incubator upgrade segment and more. They fixed a potential crash in the weapon upgrade screen, and they fixed a crash error in the Focus Arsenal screen. In 27.0.12.1, they made a possible fix for a crash that could occur when joining a mission right as someone picked up some loot in a cruise ship, fixed a UI bug where the end of mission screen would display 2 Anomaly Shards even though you received 1 upon completing the Sentient Anomaly point of interest. They fixed getting an Anomaly Shard on subsequent runs without having to complete the Sentient Anomaly point of interest. They fixed cruise ships having no behavioral defense against leaving the Railjack level bounds and disappearing completely. They fixed arc gun reload sounds not working when in Railjack point of interest. They fixed a crash when opening the options screen on systems with virtual and simulated audio output devices, a crash when switching to an audio device with a lower sample rate, Grenier drags having broken firing mechanics. They fixed controller rumble persisting after you have stopped firing the phage, and they fixed operator footsteps not being heard if Wisp is the equipped Warframe. Anyway, that concludes 27.0.9 to 27.0.12, and then next up is update 27.1's patch notes.